Good evening, I am back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, the Jack Remington NFL channel. Last week, we went 4-1 in the Soup contest. Our only loss, we had the Colts, had the winning team, but we lost by 2 points. We gave -3. New England should have won the game outright. They outgained them 2.5 yards to 1. They were beating their ass in every aspect of the game, but that's okay. And Fishang, who runs the Soup contest, who does an outstanding job, texted me, hey, if you had paid your money up front for these quarterly contests, which we thought we were going to do, you would have won the third quarter. I was like, whoa, I took a look, and so I'll put that screenshot up here. I was quite impressed. That's on me for not paying the money. I was in a hurry, and I signed up on the last day. No excuse for my failure there. But anyway, so I'll know better next year, trust me. Just real quick, some housekeeping. I'm 31 some wins now. I've managed to kind of get back into things. I'm just a couple games away from being 500. I got to do that first. Get up to 500, then make the final push the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of good threads on pregame.com, and I'll put the screenshots up here while I'm talking. It has my teasers, the 2-team teasers. I'm starting to do very well with that. And my hedges for second halves, I mean, I'm doing okay, but I haven't had too many good middles lately. And middling is what you really want to try to set up yourself to do if you could possibly ever do that. You got to figure it out. And I'll give tidbits here and there, give you some things to get you going, get it along. I will show this one thing here. The one loss is going to show I won 3 wins and 4 losses out of the 7 picks. But 3 of those losses were over-unders. And I'll make sure I put the screenshot up there. So I'm shooting myself in the foot by doing stupid things. But money-wise, I'm having a pretty decent year, except for money line things with the huge, tremendous money line losses. The New England Patriots beat the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1. The Raiders, I kept saying Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders beating the Ravens in Week 2. The Tampa Bay Bucks knocking off Detroit in Week 3. And a couple weeks ago when the Dallas Cowboys knocked off the Washington Commanders, I would go 10 years without losing a game like that. And now I've had 4 this year. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of us who are getting these big dogs, and some of them are coming through and they're pounding the gigantic favors, so be careful. So let's go ahead and get to the picks. Pick number 1, Falcons plus 5.5. They're at Minnesota. Falcons lost 3 in a row. They're tied for Tampa Bay to try to win that NFC South. 2 divisions this year may have a division winner that gets a playoff berth that could be sub 500. That could be the NFC South and the NFC West. If Arizona's knock off Seattle and they're both be 7-6, they both could lose out. They could both be 7-10, 7-8-9, and one of them's going to win divisional tiebreakers. And you got 49ers, they're trying to recover. They're at 5-7. I think Rams are too. So, all 4 of those teams are fighting for a spot. They're also in to win that division. Same thing for the NFC South. Carolina can't win. They're eliminated. I think the Saints been eliminated too. But it's a dogfight between Tampa and Atlanta Falcons. Are both 6-6. So we're taking the Falcons plus 5.5. Why? Well, they lost 3 in a row. They've been playing okay. They just, they did everything right against the Chargers, although we had the Chargers. They won the turnover battle. They did a lot of things right, but the Chargers, they got that Harbaugh, who's a pretty good coach. And he's been in the NFL before, and you know all about him. So we're taking the Falcons, and then Kirk Cousins, he was the quarterback for Minnesota a couple of years ago. They haven't had that much change on their defense and personnel. What Kirk Cousins brings to the table is going to be relevant. He's going to know where he can put the spots at when he's throwing his balls. And there's rumors he's playing hurt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that could be, but if he's going to start, he's still a formidable quarterback. Minnesota, they're fighting for the number 1 seed too. The NFC North is the black and blue division, including the Bears. I know the Bears have been eliminated, but you know what? A couple breaks here and there, the Bears will be in it too. And you got Detroit, they pulled it off last night. They completed the season sweep of the Green Bay Packers. Very rare for winning teams to get sweep each other. Well, it happened. It does happen every now and then. But I didn't have this game. I had to be a diplomat last night where my wife had to go to her corporate Christmas party. Had to be a diplomat. We'll talk a little bit about football, but it's mostly movies. So that way, don't make her look bad. I don't look like a chump. I'm Southern California. That's all I need to say. But anyway, it was like heaven. It was heavenly. But I didn't bring my cell phone. It would be rude to take pictures and videos without asking for permission. But the Vikings, they're running out of gas. I mean, a 10-2 lofty record, and some of them, they're squeaking by. They should have lost that game with the Bears that we had. We got a push out of it. That's okay. They had a real big lead and they blew it. It's hard to get that intensity week after week after week, especially on defense. You have to remember, the offense always know what they're doing. Defense is reacting. Basketball, the guy's dribbling, but there's someone playing defense. He's just trying to get ahead of you where you're going to be bouncing the ball. Baseball is the greatest game in this aspect only, that when you're on offense, the other team has the ball, the pitcher's got the ball in his hand. When you're on offense, it's a very great paradox to talk about, and most people don't understand that. But anyway, we understand football, the greatest sport of all time. This is a good spot for 5.5. I think it's too many points. I'm looking at a field goal game, and the Falcons, they could upset them. The Falcons is one of these teams that does well on the road. There's just teams like that. Next game, we're taking the Philadelphia Eagles minus 12.5. They're hosting Carolina Panthers. Again, the Eagles are chasing the number 1 seed. They're chasing Detroit, and they're fending off Minnesota, fending off Green Bay. Although they did beat Green Bay early in the season, that may come into play for seeding for wild cards if they can't overtake Detroit. The Eagles, they're riding in the form. I got them as number 1 defense in the NFL. When they're on, man, I'm telling you, they're on. They're looking just like they were when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a team to be reckoned with. And I think Carolina, this is okay, we played well last couple of weeks. We should have beat Tampa, and we lost overtime. Okay, and they fumbled that ball. They were going to kick the field goal to win that game, and that would have been a major upset. But they fumbled the ball. We're taking the Eagles in a romp and stomp. This is the biggest mismatch on the board. It's the biggest spread on the board. I just think the Eagles are just going to destroy them, and the game will be over by the 20-minute mark. 5 minutes in the second quarter, the game will be over. Third game, a very good game with serious implications in the playoff system for the NFC conference. Arizona Cardinals, they're hosting Seattle Seahawks. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had the Cardinals on my teaser, and they lost 19-9. Lost a couple points, but that's on me. It was one of the only 2 teasers I've lost the last 3 weeks. I'm going to try the Cardinals on the contest here. Seattle's beaten them 6 times in a row. They've won the last 7 out of 8 they've played them, and they're a division rival. And they've covered 6 out of 8. Some teams have certain teams' numbers, but the Cardinals, they had Minnesota beat last week. They had them beat. I took a high-flying halftime. That the thing was so off whack. I thought, man, if I could hit this thing, I lost by half a point. But the Cardinals, they were winning that whole game. It's a heartbreaker. So we're going to lay the 2.5. If it was 3, I'd find a different game. But the 2.5, I'll take a chance. And how I learned the hard way here on pregame.com. It reminded me of things. When a couple of years ago, I kept, taking plus 2.5, and I kept losing. When I was losing more than I was winning those bets with the plus 2.5. When I was laying 2.5, I won more than I lost. So maybe that's just me. The winner of this game is going to be in the driver's seat for the NFC West title. Seattle's got a couple games to go. If they can win this game, they'll be the favorite. You can still get current lines for winning the division titles. So, next game, we're going to take Chicago Bears plus 4. They're at San Francisco. Both teams are reeling. But I saw some things on the San Francisco side I didn't like. I took a real good look at the injury report. Brock Purdy, he's got full participation in practice, okay, but he's still not playing. He looked terrible. Nick Bosa did not participate in practice. That is huge. He's got a hip problem. Trent Williams did not participate in practice. You got to have him. Dre Greenlaw, limited participation in practice. He's got Achilles heel. And even if he plays, he's not going to be 100%. He's going to lose a step or 2. And I look on the Bears side, I don't see any starters on here that's questionable or limited. So they got some names on here, but one's rest, one's got a knee thing. They're all in full practice. I think the Bears are feeling the healthier team, and I'm looking at the odds, the money coming in on the spread. They got the Bears getting 72% of the bets, but the money's coming in on the 49ers. 49ers are getting 45% of the money on the spread tickets, but the number of bets are on the Bears. So it's a lot of little bets are piling up. On the money line, when you click on the money line, it's the bets, 78% on the 49ers on the number of bets. But the money percentage is on Chicago. So what that tells me is that the Sharps are pounding the Bears on the money line. When you got Sharps versus Sharps, this has got the smell of a field goal game. I'm just looking for a close game. Let's get to the last pick. And this one I'm going to have some trouble justifying, but I'm going to do it anyway. A team I really admire, a team I really like, and I just can't believe they're having struggles. But their defense is badly broken. I got their defense at number 29 in the NFL, Cincinnati Bengals. And they're on the road, and they're going to go to Dallas. Dallas finally won their first home game. We had them on the contest, thank you. Had them on the teasers, thank you. And what scares me about this game is that Dallas has beaten them the last 5 times they played them since 2000. 8. They only play every other 4 years. But Dallas has covered the last 4. Maybe they got Cincinnati's number. Maybe. But Joe Burrow's playing at a high level, but he's on the injury list. And he's been on it for weeks. And it says Joe Burrow, full participation in practice, his wrist. Now looking at Cincinnati, Jamar Chase, full participation, but he got an ankle injury. Is he 100%? T. Higgins, limited in practice. Rest. What's that mean? Was he got COVID again? Was he got the flu? Orlando Brown Jr. did not participate in practice. Fibula. That's your leg, man. You lost. Just from reading that, you know you lost a step. In Dallas, C.D. Lamb, limited participation in practice, but he's going to tough it out. And he's got a shoulder thing, but they can use it for a decoy. That's what they did to him the other week. Zach Martin did not participate in practice. That could be a problem. Brandon Cooks, full participation in practice. He's got rest. Is he got flu again? COVID? Who knows? Trevon Diggs, limited participation in practice. Knee. So they got their problems too, but the engine is making Cincinnati competitive in the race is their offense. Their offense is steamrolling. And Dallas has got that Cooper Rush. He's not a bad quarterback. He might be the best backup quarterback in the NFL. There's probably a tie between him and Joe Flacco. So, but we're taking the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm counting on them winning another game against the Bengals, keep the streak going, and they're at home. They would love to win a second home game. And I know Cincinnati is one of these teams. I'll pull it up really quick here so I can read it to you. And they're 3-3 on the road, and they're 1-5 at home. But Dallas is 4-2 away and 1-5 at home. I'll be right there.
Dinner.
That worries me a little bit too, but you know what? Dallas, they got the monkey off their back, and they're getting 5.5 as a home dog. I know I keep saying home dogs don't cover, but I'm gonna try this home dog here, and I think Cincinnati is just a broken team, and there's also a possibility Cincinnati could just figure out we're 4-8, but we can't win anything. Even if we win out, what are we gonna get? They got 3 winnable games. They got Tennessee coming up. And then they got Cleveland and Denver in 2 games that they could probably lose those 2 games. So they're thinking, you know what? We tried a couple weeks in a row, and we lost to Pittsburgh at home, lost to the Chargers, just lost to the Ravens by 1 point. Just ain't got it this year. And I know I'm a Joe Burrow fan, but I kept telling my coworkers, he's going to win. He's going to beat Tom Brady. He's going to win 10 Super Bowls. Now the defense is shot. They got to rebuild. So Joe Burrow, he reminds me of Dan Marino. Dan Marino made the Super Bowl his second year on the Miami Dolphins. Never went back. That's the way life works sometimes, folks. Nolan Ryan, the great pitcher for the Major League Baseball, and the guy was just a beast. And he was with the New York Mets as a relief pitcher. And he made the Super Bowl. He made the World Series in the second year. Never went back. So it happens, folks. And some of the greatest players. Ernie Banks, probably the best player Chicago Cubs ever had, never made to the World Series. Still had over 500 home runs, though, even though he played on a bad team. And you got to get a lot of at-bats to hit the home runs. And he did it, though. So anyway, so that's enough of that. I got my call to go. So that they give me an excuse to cut the video short. If I'll put the screenshot up here about the teasers. And the teasers are going to be on pregame.com for this week, because I can't keep starting the videos. It's too much trouble, and it's really hard. So I'll have all that for you so you can follow along. And I only do 2-team teasers. I don't do these 3-team, 10 things. I don't do it. Remember, folks, if you do a 3-team teaser, you're getting 10 points, all right, but guess what? You got to win 3 games. The book's only got to win 1. 2-team teaser, the same applies. You got to win 2 games, they got to win 1, but winning 2 games is a lot easier than trying to win 3. You got to just trust me. Do the math. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If I did, I'm sorry. I'll put it in the comments below. I'll put it on pregame.com. Thank you, players. Always great day to be American. Long live the NFL. Enjoy the games. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.